enough to follow those two into the commissioner role. Now this, Joan, I think it was John Wooden who said that character's what you do when no one's watching. Now, as a commissioner, people are almost always watching us and what we do, right? And the impressions from them watching us become our reputations. And Joan, your reputation is unassailable. The town knows about the dedicated public servant that you are, the leader, the organizer, the advocate. And Joan, you earn the respect and admiration of this community because, Joan, you worked so very hard, so intelligently, so passionately, can say that one twice, to really make Collingswood not just a better place, but the best place. So, that's Joan's reputation, what people know about her. But I want to talk about that idea of character, those things we do when no one's looking. So reason number 104 why Joan Leonard's smarter than me is she's not on social media. No Facebook, Twitter, no Instagram, no drama. And while in politics and governing, not having social media presence might be looked at as a liability, Joan, your door on Haddon Avenue is literally open to residents. I've seen them come in to talk to you. Your presence about town is consistent, your dependability, reliable, and your availability, accessible. So if reputation is what others think of us, but character is who we truly are, and especially when no one's looking. And while no one's looking, Joan, I know about you giving up your Saturday mornings every Saturday for community cleanups, and how you quietly work to help the families that come to you. Those families, need you in times of their need, and you do what you can. And you also work to protect their privacy and their dignity. You do so much for this community, and you really ask so little of it, and that's character. And that's you, Joan. That's you. So I don't know about you, but I love reading the retrospects history column, right? 100 years, 75 years ago, Malley got elected, all that stuff. And if you read them all enough as I do, you see the same names appearing again and again, right? And this is Collingswood history, right? There's the Tatums and the Collings and the Cahills and the Armitage, the people whose legacies live on thanks to their service. And I really feel secure that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, my grandchildren, great-grandchildren are going to be reading the retrospect about Joan Leonard and your contributions and legacy, as they should be. So you deserve this opportunity to spend more time with your beautiful family, right? Husband Tom and sons Francisco, Andrew, and Pete, and of course those adorable grandchildren. And you deserve the opportunity to make new memories and explore new things. But wherever you go and whatever you do, please know you go with my deepest thanks, the thanks of my family and the countless families that you served and served well. So may the next chapter of your life really be filled with that good health and happiness and really a lot of exciting adventures. I know we're not losing you to this town. You care too much about it, but it's a great time to look back at all the amazing things you did and truly celebrate it. You have my deepest respect and my thanks.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. That was nice.
So, thinking about what to say with Joan, I know that had we known at the beginning of the pandemic how to work Zoom a little better and how to record things, I think the management team, the three of us and our police chief, fire chief, Cassandra, Keith Hastings when he was administrator, if we had known about recording Zoom sessions, I would be able to open my comment tonight with some of the funniest, most hilarious clips of Joan's ear, Joan's neck, Joan's soup cooking, whatever, because this woman on a phone talking is completely out of control. And I wish we had those. We were able to doctor some pictures for some other folks in the past, but they could have gone unedited. I first met Joan Leonard many moons ago when she was kind of working, trying to spearhead the next phase of kind of work on the downtown. We had a period of time from kind of the 80s into the 90s where really the work was trying to get business owners to realize how bad things looked and how much we had to do some things. And then Joan kind of rolled in with these ideas of teaming up with the state on the Main Street, New Jersey program. And I was a commissioner that we started talking about, maybe we could do it instead of involving the state, which was just going to delay it and make it take forever. Maybe we could do something local. We could do something and pull the talents of everybody we have here in town. And that led to, recruiting people to do, I refer to it as our urban barn raising, where, Joan would twist arms and pull people and push them to come out on a weekend and redo a building, okay? Ladders, go up, take all the siding off, paint everything, fix new windows. It was something that, it was crazy. I always referred to them as they're my favorite crazy people, because who goes out and spends a weekend fixing up somebody else's property? But it was the beginning of getting people more and more invested in their downtown. And she really led the charge. I still remember inviting her to lunch at the Corner Cafe in late 1996 and suggesting to her that it be good. Bud Law was not going to run for another term, and suggesting to her that, maybe she wanted to consider it. And it's one of the few times where I've seen this face from her that, like, she never thought of that. She never thought of that idea. And we started talking and we got her involved, and politics was always a new adventure for her. Joan could never understand why it was not unanimous, why everyone didn't agree they should be voting our way. I can remember walking with election spirit time now. I remember walking with her and her being so upset about a sign for somebody else on the other lawns. Like we just have to explain to them. So through that time, that Main Street 2000, we're the only place in the state that has their own Main Street program. We're the only place in the state that actually changed. We can walk up that avenue and point out to you all the buildings that volunteers went out and changed. Her work in beautifying our town and on sustainability issues has been unparalleled. It's something in South Jersey that no one else has. As Lou Capelli indicated, it was a different perspective for everybody at the time. Some of our public works guys were like, we're gonna what? We're gonna water flowers? What? It was not what they were used to, but it was the thing that every person that drove through Collingswood saw every time, all the time, and it began leaving an impression on them that things were good. We have community gardens, the Tree City USA, the work that's been done in Knight Park, of course, the Green Festival, all of these things. And then, of course, there was reference to the Saturday morning cleanups with folks that might have been at municipal court in a few weeks before and end up on Joan's crew to help clean up a different part of town every week. A lot of people have the impression that, and we've gotten criticized at times because there's not enough disagreement. We all agree all the time. That just ain't the case. And we've had disagreements. We've had, different issues and different things where we would have liked to do things, had different ideas of how to go about doing it. And, but we always were able to reach a consensus that was good for Collingswood. And I'll give you one example of where her doggedness on her view, street lamps, the street lamps on Hadnap. She wanted a specific kind of, arch in the street lamp. PSE&G puts up the street lamps, and PSE has a catalog, a huge catalog that you can pick from. But the one that Joan wanted was not in the catalog. And I foolishly one day said to her, hey, keep pushing. You keep pushing. Well, she pushed. And now PSE&G has an addition to those lampposts that they do, which is the Collingswood lamppost. She worked hard. She got something that she knew was going to look good for forever. And it's another little piece that adds to putting all the new Collingswood together. And I need to just say that while her work is recognized by everybody in terms of beautification and sustainability, it goes far beyond that, because she's been involved and supported all the redevelopment work that we've done, restructuring departments, how to run the water department a little bit better, how to get crews working more efficiently, like everything for all this time. Bad times, times when we went through a recession, when it was horrible trying to deal with the personal issues. This last year in the pandemic, trying to keep everybody safe, keep our staff safe, keep all of our residents safe. She's led the charge. It's been a great help. I want to thank her. It has been a pleasure. This is just a different chapter because my guess is Joan's not going away. And we're going to hear all kinds of things that are next and what has to happen after this and what are we doing about that. Whoever is in these seats is going to be hearing that. So thank you to Tom, to the boys, for allowing her to do this. All of us here on this screen kind of know, like, it is not an easy thing to do. You need to give up a little bit of your life to be able to do this. And we all do it just to help make the community a little better. So Joan, thank you. We will do a more proper thank you later. Sounds like it might be sooner after the governor today, but we're going to do something a little bit later and have a little more of a celebration. Okay. Commissioner Leonard, I leave it to you whether you'd like to say something now or you'd like to hang on till the end of the meeting.
I do want to say something now because what you're saying is fresh in my ears, and I'm afraid I won't hear the rest of the meeting because I'm thinking about all of your kind words. I will try to refocus myself, and since I haven't had any wine, there is a chance that I will refocus properly. But and it is my last commission meeting, and I wish I could see a film or slides of all the meetings over the years and seeing us work on so many issues together. And I'm so grateful and I respect all of you so much. From Lou in the beginning, and knowing that I was following up people like Bud Law and Mike Brennan and just trying to do a good job the best that I can, knowing that I'm a therapist and a healer and not a good politician and not an attorney and not an engineer. And I'm in a situation where I have to just figure out how I fit in. And I'm so grateful that everybody let me fit in and do and listen to me and participate in it. And you're all incredibly brilliant and inspirational to me. And I've learned so much so quickly, and it was overwhelming. And Mike, you're amazing as a chief and a leader. And Lou, look how far you've gone and so much that you've done. And Jim, you do everything for everybody around you, and Collingswood in a brilliant way. Rob, you jumped into hot water with us right away with everything going on, from all the problems that happened and the pandemic. I mean, it's amazing how versatile and hardworking and adaptable and creative and committed to Collingswood that all of you are, and I will never forget it. And the people of Collingswood are great, but you are the people of Collingswood. You represent so many people so well. And my family's been tremendous. I don't know how many times Tom had to make sure everything about our children was taken care of so I could do one more thing outside of the house, and how great and supportive my kids are. And the volunteers and the neighbors, just outstanding, brilliant people that do so much in the town. Landing here from Mars, just showing up here and thinking there's things that I'd like to do for my own reasons of things that I've gone through, and to be so welcomed with so many friendly, nice people and so much beautiful nature around me, which is, as you may have guessed, what I thrive on, besides saving old buildings, and not ever wanting to waste anything, whether it's a bike or a building or a stained glass or a tree. It has to live, it has to be healed. And you've let me bring that, and I am so grateful. I'm forever grateful. And I hope that, although not in office, that I can continue into a chapter that will be further stewardship for Collingswood in some way, of wherever the path leads me. And I hope you're all there. It's been great to be with all of you all the time. You're
Thanks,
my team.
Joan. Thank
You're my
you.
team. You're the team. That's team.
Thanks, Joan. I love having clapping when you're muted. That's good. Commissioner Capelli and Hall, you are welcome to stay. I know you miss being at commission meetings. You're welcome to stay, but you can also take off. Okay. We're next up is we're going to do a recognition of 3 of our police officers for just an incredible bit of a rescue that took place earlier this year. Officers Bright, Brodowski, and Baruch. I'm going to read just a quick little bit just to give everybody a little breakdown of what went on for this this event. This was in February of this year in the afternoon. It's a Friday afternoon, and the officers responded to the area of the Cooper River Yacht Club with a report of a dog that had fallen through the ice. Prior to their arrival, they were updated that the dog's owner attempted to walk out onto the ice to save the dog, but broke the ice and was in the water as well. Upon arrival, they saw a female partially in the water and lying face down on the ice, approximately 20 yards from the riverbank. Working together, they quickly grabbed a rescue rope, walked onto the ice, and threw the female the rescue rope. After throwing her the rope, they were able to pull her across the surface to the ice where it was a little thicker. However, due to her exposure to the cold, she could not stand up. So the officers decided that they would walk out and lift her and bring her back off the ice. They brought her back, returned her to the turned her over to our fire department, where she was taken to the hospital and treated for exposure to the cold. The dog actually was doing pretty well. They got the dog out as well, and the dog was actually taken home and taken back to the house and turned over to a family member. So I'm honored to commend you for your courageous actions. If it weren't for your quick action, the outcome in this case would have certainly been very different. You went above and beyond the call of duty by putting yourselves in danger to preserve the life of another. As a direct result of your outstanding performance, the female was saved from drowning. It is important that each of you know that your excellent work is not going unnoticed. We will all be together in a room to celebrate it, I promise. And we thank you for all that you do every day. This was really a great save. Take special pride in knowing that your efforts affect all of us, affect our quality of life. It makes everyone in our town a little bit more comfortable to know that they have you there in case something goes wrong. Okay, so fellas, thank you so much for being on. We commend you, and we'll catch up to you. Chief Carey, anything that you like to add?
Just echo what you said, Mayor. I mean, what you guys did really exemplifies what we do here in Collingswood, and we really take a step above, and very, very proud to be able to sit here and have you recognized by the Mayor and Commission here. Again, you really exemplify what we do as service to our community. You take good pride in what you do, and it shows in every day. This is just one day that you guys happen to take that call, but I know that any one of our officers would have done the same. And you guys are just the lucky ones who have taken the call that day and be able to be recognized here. So thank you for your hard work. And again, keep doing what you're doing, because we're making a difference, guys. Thank you.
Commissioner Leonard?
I'm sitting here crying, so I don't know if I can speak. I think, and I'm thinking that some of those officers were there with me with community service and had to work, you know who you are. You just community service.
They're getting a Valor Award for that too.
I want to say it's every day there's a challenge. And so this was an amazing thing. So thank you so much for doing that. But from the beginning, you showed that you rise to the occasion of what has to be done in difficult circumstances. So thank you.
Rob?
Your public safety officers You believe in public service and you put the people ahead of yourselves, putting yourself at risk. If that's not the most commendable thing, I don't know what is. Great job. Bravo, Zulu.
Thank you.
And listen,
Guys.
before we release you guys and let you guys head off, the next up, we're going to have the Odyssey of the Mind, and they're going to talk a little bit about what's going on this year. And I know we have some of those young people are on with us, even though we can't see them. And I just, I hope you've all been listening to see a little bit of what giving back about what public service is. You've got a person who's devoted, more than 20 years of her life to serving the community as an elected official, doing everything, trying to cover every little base of what makes this town what it is. And you have officers who have, one day a dog fell in the ice on the water, and she went to try to help and fell in and needed to be rescued. And they responded, they put their lives on the line. It is really something, as you're going through this Odyssey of the Mind and you're all working together as a team, it's really important to know that, like, your community, your whole town runs off that concept of everybody being able to help everybody else out. And those things that you're learning as you're making, I know we're going to hear and see some amazing things, but as you're doing all that, know that that all will help you down the road on making really big things happen for you all the time. Okay? So thank you, officers. Thank you. You are free to go if you would like. Commissioner Capelli, thank you. Going to turn it over to Ken Allendorfer, the Odyssey of the Mind. It's really feel bad that we're not in person for this, because this is always like one of the craziest, most fun little times to have. And so that we can actually see what everybody's put together. But Ken, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Maley. Commissioner Leonard, Commissioner Lewandowski, thank you so much for letting us come back to talk to you about our program. My name is Kenneth Allendorfer. I'm president of the Collingswood Recreation Program, Odyssey of the Mind. I'm here to talk to you tonight with some of our OMers. That's what we call people who do Odyssey of the Mind, OMers, to give you an update on the program and thank you for your support. This has been the most unusual season, to say the least. Our teams met virtually entirely for the first 3 months and then under COVID precautions after that. I'm a fairly experienced OM coach by now, but let me tell you that this is an entirely new thing. So anyone, any teacher, coach, youth activity coordinator, anybody who has tried to do this kind of thing over Zoom, let me tell you, it is hard work for both the coaches and the kids. My hat's off to all of you who try to do that. Despite all this, our teams persevered and exceeded all expectations, as they always do. I'm happy to report that we had 6 Collingswood Rec Odyssey teams involving more than 32 kids from 3rd through 12th grade, and 15 adult volunteers who served as our coaches and judges and board members. And even though our participation numbers are down a bit from the previous years because of the pandemic, we're still one of the largest Odyssey of the Mind programs in New Jersey, and that's due to the support we receive from our community. This year, we're especially proud of our 2 teams who recently completed their submissions to the Odyssey of the Mind World Finals Virtual, which will be held later this month, where they'll be competing with teams from all over the country and all over the world. If I can get the technology to work, I'm going to try to show you just a couple moments of their submissions to give you a sense of what they're doing. Rebecca, do I have the ability to do that?
Rebecca, you just make Ken a co-host, make him a host.
It's only going to be
Is that right for the webinar if he's a host on it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think try making him a host.
Okay, great. See that? And I will share
To do it.
share my screen here just for a second. This one. And so the first team is this is in our middle school division. I'm going to I'm just going to play their video. You probably won't hear the sound, but I'll let the video play while I talk about them. Our first team is from our middle school division. It's coached by Ben Garvey and Kelly Zenfell, who I hope are here on the phone. This team wrote and performed an original 8-minute play, all via Zoom, as you can see them performing a little bit of it here. Their performance involves heroes, villains, potatoes, as you might see down there, socks, and then a heart-stopping cliffhanger, which for reasons that if you talk to these kids, they'll explain to you, for some reason, the cliffhanger occurs at the beginning of the production, not at the end. This team was finished third in New Jersey in their category, and they're really proud to be representing Collingswood at the Virtual World Finals later this month. The second team, bring this one up here. Hope you can all see that. The second team is in our high school division, coached by Stephen Huang. This team created this rideable human-powered vehicle that uses stored energy. In this case, they're giant rubber bands. It travels a course and completes various tasks. This team finished second in New Jersey in their category. And when I say that, when I say completed second, these are up against some of the most prestigious, biggest, wealthiest high schools in New Jersey. And our team finished second, including a first place top score for the technical and engineering aspects of your solution. As you can see there, it's sort of, their theme is a Back to the Future theme. You've got someone playing Marty McFly and someone driving the time travel machine. So this team's going up against some of the top teams in the world on their technical vehicle problem. And all of this is created by, conceived by, built by, written by, performed by the kids. The adults, we stand back. We make sure they don't get hurt. We make sure the place gets locked up and cleaned up at the end of the night. But everything you're seeing in these performances is created by the kids themselves. It's hands off for the adults, hands on for the kids. And then finally, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Finally, I have the great pleasure of introducing, handing the mic over to two of our senior OMers who are graduating next month after many years of participating together in our program. Last month, they were both awarded the Rita Ostroff Ginsburg Memorial Scholarship by the New Jersey Odyssey of the Mind organization for their success as OMers and their commitment to the values of OM. Teamwork, creativity, and perseverance. As their coach, I admit I'm an entirely biased observer of these two, but these are two extremely creative and talented young women. I'll hand it over to Lila DeMasi and Elizabeth Allendorfer. You guys should unmute yourselves.
Okay, should I go first? Is that fine?
Nope.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Elizabeth Allendorfer, obviously, and I've been in Odyssey's orbit for, I want to say 9 years now. And obviously, as you can tell by the same last names, Kenneth is my dad, and I've always looked up to my dad, and I think Odyssey has really given me an opportunity to be even more proud of the things that he does, and he really spearheads this program. I've been on his teams since I was little, and it's been a great way to spend time together. But enough about my relationship with my dad. My relationship with the program has been one of a creative outlet. Odyssey is an outlet not just for me, but for every kid there, because it's kind of unique and unconventional. I think, though it operates in teams and coaches, it's not quite like a sport. It's got a bunch of different, it operates more as a way to try new things that you wouldn't be able to try in school. I don't think I would be able to have done screenwriting, basic shop skills, costume design, sewing, all of these skills that you usually need to be going to a specific special program for is something that I've been able to kind of cultivate by myself with my friends, with the polite guidance so that we don't get injuries from our coaches. And so I really just wanted to come on in my stilted speech to thank you all so much for your support of Odyssey. It's something that's really nurtured my life and has really changed the lives of so many kids in town. And of course, thank you to my dad for keeping that all running I'm just so proud of what we've been able to accomplish. So, yeah, Lila.
Yeah, I'd like to echo Elizabeth's thanks. Thank you all for supporting Odyssey, and also thank you, Mr. Allender, for making Odyssey happen. I've been doing it since 4th grade, same as Elizabeth's been doing it. We were on our first team together. And yeah, Odyssey has really changed my life. The leadership skills through like taking 7 people, 7 brains, and turning that into a full performance, and like with no adult help, like starting at age, I guess I was like 10. Wow. Is just like, it's an incredibly difficult but incredibly rewarding thing to do, and figuring out how to do that in your own in a team of 7 like kids your same age is just something that like most people don't get the chance to do until maybe they're like in college or in the workplace, like having to figure something else out that like that. Odyssey is also where I learned how to both write a script and use power tools, and really learned like how things that seem like they couldn't ever possibly go together can really fit together. And that's really like, I think that's going to help me a lot in my life, just like realizing that nothing's impossible. There's been so many Odyssey moments where like it seems so crazy that it can never get done, and then by competition it's done and it's awesome. Yeah, Odyssey has given me so many foundational skills in leadership, in teamwork, in creativity, obviously, that have helped me a lot. Like even concretely already, I'm the president of several clubs in Collingswood High School, and I've really used those skills I got from Odyssey in that, and I'm really looking forward to using those skills as I move forward in college. So yes, thank you for supporting Odyssey. It's a really, really amazing program, and I'm so glad that I got to be a part of it.
Thank you, Lila and Elizabeth. I appreciate it, and we're so proud of everything you guys have accomplished during your time, and congratulations. Let me just quickly wrap up and say that we're always looking for volunteers to join our merry band. You can check out our Facebook group or go to the rec website or visit us May 10th at the Get Up Collingswood event at the Scottish Rite. And finally, we want to express our gratitude for all the support the commissioners and the borough have given us, promoting our program, allowing us to use the borough's facilities, helping us with our finances and our purchasing. The borough has always been there for us and for our kids. In particular, we'd like to thank Ms. Piglicelli, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Goodman, and Ms. Duffy. Without you guys, we would not be able to do this. So thank you so much. Working together as a team to solve problems creatively is what OM and Collingswood are all about. Thanks again.
Thanks. That was awesome. As usual. I just wish we had the car with us in the room. I still like to be around for that.
Well, it's still assembled. We can have once we can get together in person, we'll have races.
We're definitely doing that. We're going to want all Lila's cats there too.
Someone get animal control over there. I want to know what's going on. Mr. Mayor, if I can just say, I've had a great privilege to watch these 2 young ladies grow and flourish. I was there in Eric Gittler's backyard for that first meeting many moons ago, and it's really a joy to see the people that you've become, and to have a sense, to know the people that the growth that you're going to have even in your future. As great as I'm sure these years have been for you, I think your best years lay ahead of you. So congratulations and best of luck in college to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And ladies, good luck with it all. Elizabeth, I figure you're getting some extra allowance this week with all those nice words about that.
Good job.
Okay.
Good job, young ladies. I see future women leaders there. So where were they when I needed them in Main Street 2000 in 1987? They would have been up there redesigning buildings and coming up with ways. And also, don't leave Collingswood, because we need more great leaders. You're young. We need you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
You got it. Thanks, you guys. You are free to go. You can go. Lila, I think there's a cat that needs to get fed, all right? Goodness. That looked like a Commissioner Leonard video there for a little bit. Okay. Holly, let's get the business.
Okay, we have the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1706, revising rules and regulations for the Collingswood Police Department.
So this is the set of rules and regulations that have been put together and are being adopted as part of the certification process for our police department. It's done through the Attorney General's office as well as through the Joint Insurance Fund. It's another step, right, Kevin, in the Attorney General's process that we've been engaged, part of our police chief's advisory committee. It's all part of that process. Right, Kev?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so this is the public hearing on that ordinance. If anyone would like to be heard, if you would simply raise your hand and we will do our best to recognize you. Okay, seeing none, Holly?
Mayor Maley,
Yes.
Commissioner Leonard,
Yes,
Commissioner Lewandowski.
muted.
Did we lose him?
Yes, sorry.
There
It's
he
okay.
is. Hi, Rob.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Hal.
Okay, we have the second reading, the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1707, amending ordinance 1705 and section 273 of the Code of the Borough of Collingswood requiring security guards within apartment complexes.
So this is, this ordinance is pretty much going to be affecting the Parkview Apartments only. It's requiring security plans to be submitted and approved by the chief. There have been discussions going on between the chief and Parkview management. They have submitted a plan. It's under review. And this is simply the public hearing and the vote on the final adoption of this ordinance. We're hoping for there's some security that's been implemented. We're hoping it improves things. If not, then we will see what additional steps need to be taken. This is the public hearing on this ordinance. Anyone like to be heard? If you could please raise your hand digitally and we will recognize you. Okay, Hal?
Mayor Maley,
Yes.
Commissioner Leonard,
Yes,
Commissioner Lewandowski.
Yes,
Okay, we have the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1708, amending section 163 of the municipal code of the Borough of Collingswood, fire prevention.
And Chief Davis, could you just give us a quick little summary of it?
This was prompted by our separation with the Pennsauken Shared
That's
Service
right.
Agreement. We had to change some language in the ordinance to satisfy the Division of Fire Safety.
You got it. Okay, so this is the end of the shared service with Pennsauken. Pennsauken decided they didn't want to continue in it. So a lot of our inspections are coming back in-house. And so this is making the ordinance now fit that change because we had changed it before to have the shared service. So anyone, this is the second reading, public hearing. Anyone like to be heard on it? This is your opportunity. Please raise your hand digitally and we'll recognize you. Okay, Hal?
Mayor Maley,
Yes.
Commissioner Leonard,
yes,
and Commissioner Lewandowski.
yes,
Okay, we have the first reading of salary ordinance 1709 for the firefighters.
So this is simply implementing an agreement that's been reached. The first resolution you see is an MOU with a contract with our firefighters, which we can talk about a little bit more, but this is the ordinance simply implementing. We'll talk about it with the MOU. Public hearing will be at the June
7.
7 meeting, 6-7 meeting. Hal?
Mayor Maley,
Yes.
Commissioner Leonard,
yes,
Commissioner Lewandowski.
yes.
So we're going to open up the floor. Any public comment? Anyone want to comment only on resolution items, the items that are on the rest of the agenda? If you have any questions, comments about anything on the rest of the agenda, please just raise your hand and we'll recognize you. Okay, Hal?
Approving a memorandum of understanding between the Borough of Collingswood and the Collingswood firefighters.
Cassandra, could you just give us a quick summary of the terms?
It's a 5-year contract with our firefighters. It is very standard, 2% raises, and then in the last 2 years, 2.5%.
Okay, and the 2.5, it's above the 2% cap, in the way that works for us financially is because of people that will be retired in that time. And so we'll have some more room in order to bump our numbers up, right?
You got it. And there was also concessions of giving back sick days and some negotiation there as well. So this will go through
You got it.
2024.
You got it. Okay, yes.
Yes,
Authorizing the Collingswood Public Library to apply for the Library Construction Bond Act grant.
So this is just applying for some free money from the state. Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Authorizing the refund of tax overpayments for Block 1905 Lot 3 and Block 2 Lot 3.
Pretty self-explanatory, yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Authorizing the cancellation of tax account balances for 723 Eldridge Avenue, 725 Cattell Avenue, and 109 Haddon Avenue.
Yes.
yes,
Approving a strategic plan for funding for municipal alliance.
So this is just a requirement of our grant funding that we have a plan. Yes.
Yes.
Authorizing a purchase from state contract for tasers and electric vehicles.
So the EV, this is for the, there's one in the fire department, right, Cassandra?
It actually will be going to our inspection department.
Okay, okay, which is done by fire guys.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's our first one in the fleet that we'll be getting in. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more in. Okay, yes.
yes,
Authorizing the sale of a 2007 Dodge Durango on eBay.
Yes.
yes,
Approving change order number 6 to Epic.
Cassandra, you just want to give us a quick run through? I know this is a number of smaller items.
That's exactly it. It's a series of cleanup items as we sort of race to the finish line and start getting things in. It's everything from, repainting, things that needed to be rewired, just as the contractors move through and sort of button things up smaller. It's a long list of smaller changes.
Okay, the total was roughly 30,000.
31,720 and change.
You got it. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
yes.
yes,
Okay, appointing part-time EMT and firefighters for the Collingswood Fire Department. Thomas Herden, Scott Jakubowski, John Springer, Christopher Zimmerman, and Joseph Iannucci.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes,
Appointing Juliana Rice as part-time circulation assistant for the Collingswood Public Library.
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Appointing Manny S. Cavuru
Kavuru.
as member to the Collingswood COVID-19 Recovery Advisory Committee.
So I'll just take this opportunity just real quickly. We had our first meeting of the recovery team this week. It's a pretty impressive group of neighbors. Dr. Kavuru is a pulmonologist that's just recently moved into town that is now working in the field of public health, kind of helping advise people on different COVID related issues. But we have a pediatrician, we have a doc that lives in town who's been running Temple's COVID unit for the last year, as well as social workers, a doctor teaching at Jefferson in public health, business owners, a good group of people as we're beginning to work through, probably going to get things started with a needs assessment in both the town and the businesses. You'll see more of that coming in the coming weeks. No matter what happens next week, we hope that that's going to continue, because we're going to the borough is going to need to keep going down that path. And Dr. Kavuru is we've added him on because he's got some particular expertise that I think will really help. Yes.
yes,
Appointing members of the Collingswood Creative Team, Mary Baldwin, Kim Brooks, Jeff DeMassey, Cassandra Duffy, Shane Michael Duncan, Denise Guerin, is that correct?
Right.
Yep.
Jamie Kurth, Kevin Munko, Mishka Mitchell, Eric Robinson, and Ellen Rosenholtz.
Commissioner Lewandowski, you want to talk about the team?
Yeah, really fantastic group of residents that really represent many different areas of the fine and performing arts, different parts of our community. One of the things that the Collingswood creative team is really charged to do is to use, arts in the creative process to make great things. So we will be charged to sort of support the arts, but also to use arts and creativity to support our community. We had a brief meeting recently, and you could really see what I call the 4 E's of success here, and it's really expertise, enthusiasm, and then expertise and enthusiasm again. So the group, we're really talking about doing a sort of a creative audit of our town to get a sense of the assets that we have, both known and the ones we don't know, by sort of survey to the community. And, they've been talking about things like public art program, placemaking, and creating, space in town that would be sort of inviting exchange space for people. And, the sky's the limit. So it's really an exciting thing.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
And approving the payment of bills as presented by the treasurer.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Commissioner Lewandowski,
How about we just use that last one as mine? I'm good. Joan,
you got it. You got it.
Joan, thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Commissioner Leonard?
Well, last week was our Tiny Green Festival called Green Day, which is a band, anyway. So it was great. And it's interesting during these tough times that we have been through over the past year plus to be so grateful for tiny improvements that really make your heart sing. So how about the farmer's market, just starting, but before that, it's getting rid of all your hazardous waste or electronic waste and all those things that we do every year. And it's been in place for 12 years, 12 plus. And what that day means to me is that there's one day that we can showcase everything we do for our residents to help them be as sustainable as possible. And everybody who came out really participated in that. And it made me so proud of the town that we live in. And then to see everybody out again for the farmer's market, which is a week later, and then out dining outdoors safely. So there's so far we've come over this COVID horrible year, and so much good that's come of it, from the kindness and cautiousness of people and the respect to really do the right thing and take care of each other. And so it's been a great couple of weeks in spring seeing all that happen. And that's my favorite time of the year anyway, to see that. And I feel like for 24 years, I've seen that happen again and again, that every spring we see the rejuvenation of life and how wonderful it is to be here with each other. So thank you again to everyone at Borough Hall who works so hard behind the scenes to make everything happen all the time. Police, fire, public works, my fellow commissioners now and in the past, who've done an inspiring, great job. Our families, all of our families, not just my family, but who support all of us, the businesses, the volunteers, and the residents who are awesome. And as Jim said, even when we don't agree on something, we work it out for the best of Collingswood. And that's what it's all about. So good luck to you in the future in your endeavors. I hope our team is always there. And I hope I can be of service.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Joan. Thanks. Just a few things, especially today with the governor's announcements about how in the next couple of weeks, a lot of the restrictions are going to be lifted. I got the first notification, another notification of one of our residents that has died from COVID, 50-year-old man. So it's been a while. It's been a number of weeks since we've gotten notification of a death. And so I just want to raise it and say, as restrictions are lifting, we're not clear, and the the risks are pretty severe. So I would just encourage everyone, whatever those standards are that are in place, like please follow them. Masks, do the distancing, do everything you need to do. There's still something pretty deadly out there that we want to try to keep everybody as safe as we possibly can. We're on a bit of a lighter note. We've got notice about a year ago. We finished up this Connect 2020 grant that we got from the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. Part of the Benny of doing grants well, getting them, then spending the money the right way, is it helps get you other grants, because agencies like to give out the money where it's actually getting spent. The DVRPC's given us notice that they're going to make us a pilot project for bike lanes, kind of Atlantic Avenue tied into the speed line. We're still getting information on that, but we're hoping we can get that implemented pretty quick. And that is actually, that's not studying it anymore. That's actually doing something. So we're looking forward to that. Speaking of doing something that's paid for by other people, or at least paid with our state tax money, is the wonderful, wonderful congestion on Haddon Avenue around Homestead, as those bump outs are being built there, and the absolute mess it is making of traffic. It is kind of like getting your kitchen redone. It's horrible to live through it, but once it gets done, boy, it's so much better. So we're basically doing 4 bump outs at those intersections. It's going to create a kind of a real shoot through there that will certainly slow traffic down, stop traffic from trying to shoot around people, around cars that are stopped for pedestrians. It should really make a difference there. That only took 8 years. I think Mike Hall texted me the other day when he saw this was being done, that it was back in his time when we had actually gotten the grant. And finally, I just want to welcome back our administrator, Keith Hastings, is pinch hitting for us. Our zoning officer, Jason Miller, who's been part-time with us. He's a planner. He's licensed beyond the work as zoning officer. He had been out of work because of the COVID-related stuff, and we're lucky enough to have him part-time as zoning officer. We want to thank him and wish him well. He's going to be at the state at DCA. Hopefully, we're going to meet up with him again. But Keith Hastings has come back to fill in for a couple months till we fill the position as our zoning officer. So plenty of talking from us. This is the opportunity to bring anything before the commission that you would like. Anyone that would like to bring in to raise anything, just raise your hand. Rebecca, you're going to recognize people.
And Rossi, you're all set.
Okay, great. Actually, tonight, Iris Rossi would like to make a public comment. Thank you.
I am Iris Rossi, 114 East Palmer Avenue in Collingswood. I like the idea for new trash cans in Night Park. I want to thank Clean Communities for the money for new wood trash cans that I saw in the Mayor's video this weekend. But I still have some questions on the trash cans. Why did not do this before? And where are we going to put them? I think they should go in places like by the sea monster sculpture and near the ponds. Near the ponds, because these are areas we have found litter, and we do not want pollution in the ponds. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you. And I got to tell you, I'm thrilled that you watched the video. I thought my mother was the only one to watch that, but thank you for watching. Thank you for speaking with us. The reason, yes, 2 questions I got out of what you said, which is why did we not do cans before? We are doing cans now because we're getting free money. We're getting some money through our community, Clean Communities money that we're putting toward it. And where those cans will go is something that the Public Works Department will figure out with the Knight Park trustees. And in all likelihood, they'll be located near where there's high traffic areas, a lot of people going in or out, as well as where they're playing or hanging out in the park, and then also where they're leaving the park and walk away from those activities. So you'll see when they get out there. Hopefully it'll be this summer, and we'll be able to. And if you see a spot where it should be, don't hesitate to reach out to the commissioners and let them know. Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca, Kate has her hand raised.
Delaney, go right ahead.
Hi, Kate Delaney, 126 East Palmer Avenue. Yeah, I would like to know where the commissioners stand on cannabis marketplaces in town. I know that municipalities have till August 21st to make a decision. Otherwise, towns are automatically opted in all 6 marketplaces. It sounds from things I've read that Barrington and Audubon have plans in place for public engagement. So again, a 2-part question. What are the commissioners' views on this issue? And also, what are the plans for public engagement on this important topic?
Sure. Well, in the last 2 meetings, borough meetings that we had, we actually discussed this. And what we said was that we had asked once the legislation was signed by the governor, we had asked the borough's planner to put together a report to recommend what areas in the town it might be appropriate for zoning. We expect, as we've talked, I think over the last couple of years about it, at meetings, that probably Route 130 would make a lot of sense. So I know they have finished a report. I can't tell you I have seen it. It is, but certainly, and we've had interest as well expressed by some entities as the state's working through the regs on how this is all going to really work. But our intention has kind of always been that we would do something along Route 130 to allow the zoning there. As we get into that process, we'll certainly engage folks. We did that with the brewery. With a big change like that, we engaged folks to talk to us at town forums, at different events to kind of give us their thoughts. I think we did some stuff in the town crier to get people to comment. So we'll open it up. It would be a pretty big change, but we'll open it up to let people, tell us what they think about it. Okay, I've got all my screens open here. Rob, anything you want to add? Joan?
I'll just add that, now is no time to be closing doors. That, we're still waiting for, further guidance and regulations from the state. And obviously the devil is always in the details, but, in my mind, this could be something that could be really helpful to the community. It could be, so, and by the way, something that we could actually put a tax on gross revenues of 2%. That could be a good thing. But again, the details are important, but I think it would be folly to sort of close the door now.
Okay, Kate, anything else?
Well, so as a follow-up question to that, my understanding is that if municipalities do not take any action, then they're automatically opted in for all 6 marketplaces. And that involves, growing, dispensary, wholesale, delivery. So it sounds like other municipalities are opting out in order to opt in later so that they can narrow it down. So that's not what you're saying that the commissioners want to do.
At this point, I think we'll opt in some way, only because I think we have a few people that are interested, but I think it's a matter that, can be discussed after, maybe in a week or so, and just see who's around to discuss it. Okay?
Sure, thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? Just digitally raise your hand for us, okay? Okay. We're all done public comment. Joan Leonard, it's been a pleasure and an honor. I know we're going to see you around, and just wish you wish you all the fulfillment and the fun and all the good stuff that, as much as it's been for our run, it's been all good.
Thank you. Same from me to you.
All right.
Been great.
All right, kiddo. All right, with that, we bring an end to the Joan Leonard legacy in the Collingswood Commission meetings. But it'll continue in Collingswood. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Bye, Rob. Bye, everyone.